Ladies and gentlemen, every human being carries within them the most powerful tool ever created, the human mind. It is invisible, silent, yet it shapes everything you see. Every empire, every invention, every work of art, every act of greatness began as a single thought in someone's mind. If you wish to change your life, you must begin by shaping your mind. Your life is nothing more than the reflection of what you allow to grow in your thinking. Plant negative thoughts and you'll harvest frustration. Plant powerful, disciplined, and purposeful thoughts, and you'll harvest success, joy, and peace. You become what you think about most of the time. Not what you wish for, not what you talk about, but what you truly, persistently think about. The mind does not care what seed you plant. It will return whatever you sow. Whether you plant success or failure, confidence or doubt, abundance or fear, it will grow it for you with perfect accuracy. So guard your thoughts as you would Gua, or indeed your most precious treasure, because they are your treasure. Every day feed your mind with purpose, with clear goals, and with the belief that you are capable of extraordinary things. When your thoughts are strong, your life cannot be weak. Look around you. The people who shine are not lucky. They have simply learned to discipline their inner world. They think clearly, they act decisively, and they persist until the world has no choice but to reward them. Do not wait for motivation. Create it through focus. Do not wish for a better life. Think and act yourself into one. The world does not shape you. Your mind does. Shape your mind with clarity, discipline, and belief, and your life will shine like a beacon to others. Because the truth is simple. When you master your thoughts, you master your destiny. Thank you. Everything in your life, every victory, every defeat, every joy, every sorrow, begins in the invisible soil of your thoughts. Your mind is the ground in which the seeds of your future are planted. Whether those seeds bloom into strength, confidence, and achievement, or wither into fear, doubt, and failure, depends entirely on what you choose to plant and how faithfully you cultivate it. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. There is no exception. You cannot plant weeds and expect roses. You cannot fill your mind with anger, excuses, and fear, and hope to harvest peace, success, and happiness. The mind obeys the same law as the earth. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. And yet, most people wander through life without understanding that their thoughts are the architects of their destiny. They react, they complain, they blame, but they never stop to realize that the life they are living is simply the harvest of their own thinking. The greatest truth you can ever learn is this: you become what you think about most of the time. If you think strength, you will act with strength. If you think weakness, you will live in weakness. If your mind is full of purpose and vision, your life will rise to meet that vision. But if your mind is full of fear, your life will shrink to the size of that fear. Every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. This is not philosophy, it's fact. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness. Before they built anything in the world, they built it first in their mind. The successful farmer envisions a rich harvest before he plants a single seed. The artist sees the masterpiece before the brush touches the canvas. The leader sees the victory before the battle even begins. They all shape their minds first, knowing that their minds will shape the world that follows. The mind does not care what you plant. It will grow whatever you choose to sow. That is both its power and its danger. If you plant negative, self-destructive thoughts, your mind will nurture them faithfully, producing failure and frustration. But if you plant ideas of faith, courage, and persistence, your mind will nurture those too, bringing forth results that others will call tuck. There is no luck, only law, only cause and effect. So the question is, what are you planting right now? What are you allowing to take root in your mind every morning when you wake up, every night before you sleep? Every word you speak to yourself, every image you hold in your imagination, these are seeds. Guard them. Feed them with discipline and belief. Because one day, whether you like it or not, you will stand before the harvest of your own planting. Most people never realize this truth, and so they drift. They wake up without purpose, they fill their minds with noise, they let others decide what they think, and then they wonder why their lives are filled with confusion. The man or woman who learns to think deliberately, with direction and focus, becomes unstoppable. When you decide what thoughts will live in your mind, you take control of your destiny. Your external world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your internal one. The world does not shape you. Your mind shapes the world you see. When your thinking changes, everything changes. Opportunities appear where before there were only obstacles. Strength appears where once there was doubt. People respond to you differently, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. Discipline your mind. Train it like a soldier. Do not allow weak, useless, negative thoughts to live there rent-free. Every time you catch yourself thinking small, replace it immediately with a thought of power, purpose, and possibility. Your mind is the control center of your life. It will take you to heaven or drag you into hell, depending on how you use it. Every great achievement begins with a single decision, the decision to think differently. You do not need to wait for circumstances to improve before you improve your thinking. You begin now, right where you are, no matter how dark the past, no matter how uncertain the present. You can decide today to plant new seeds, thoughts of courage, success, love, and gratitude. Feed those thoughts daily. Read things that lift you. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Speak words that strengthen you. Guard your mind from the poison of negativity, gossip, and fear. Because what enters your mind will eventually shape your life. And as the days pass, you will notice the change. The same problems that once defeated you will no longer have power. The same challenges that once seemed impossible will become stepping stones. The same world that once felt heavy will begin to open before you. Because your mind has changed, and your mind is the source of it all. Remember, no one can think for you. No one can believe for you. The power to shape your mind is yours alone. If you truly want to shine in life, start where all greatness begins, in your thoughts. So today, plant the seed, decide the kind of life you wish to live, and begin to think the thoughts that belong to that life. Hold them firmly, nourish them daily, and act in harmony with them. The harvest will come as surely as the sun rises. Your mind is the seed. Your life is the harvest. Shape it with wisdom, feed it with purpose, and your life will shine beyond anything you can imagine. That single truth has built empires and destroyed them. It has raised men and women from nothing to greatness, and it has also kept millions trapped in mediocrity, wondering why life never changes. You are, right now, a living reflection of your most dominant thoughts. Not the thoughts you think once in a while, but the ones that occupy your mind day after day, quietly shaping your beliefs, guiding your actions, and determining the course of your destiny. Your life always moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. If you constantly think of fear, failure, and limitation, you will act in ways that attract them. If you think of courage, growth, and possibility, your actions will reflect those beliefs, and your world will begin to change. The mind does not ask what is true or false, it simply creates what it is fed. It believes what you repeat, and then your actions follow. Everything in this world, every skyscraper, invention, achievement, and discovery, first existed as a thought in someone's mind. Thought is the beginning of creation. It is invisible but unstoppable. It starts small like a spark, but when you hold it long enough, it grows into a fire that lights your path. The tragedy is that most people never control what they think. They let the world, the news, the opinions of others, and their own fears plant ideas in their minds. They become servants to thoughts they never chose, and then they wonder why life feels out of control. But the truth is simple. When you do not choose your thoughts, you choose defeat. You are not your circumstances. You are your thoughts about your circumstances. Two people can face the same problem. One sees failure, the other sees a challenge. One gives up, the other grows stronger. The difference is not in the world outside, it's in the world within. What you think about determines how you respond, and your response determines your result. Everything you do begins as an idea. The words you speak, the choices you make, the habits you form, all flow from your thoughts. That is why the mind is the true battlefield of life. If you win there, you will win everywhere. If you lose there, you will lose no matter how much effort you make. So ask yourself, what do you think about most? What fills your mind when you're alone? What are you telling yourself every day? Because those quiet, repetitive thoughts are writing your future. If your inner voice constantly says, "and can't," your actions will prove it true. If it says, "I can and I will," the same law applies. Your mind will begin to move heaven and earth to make it real. There is no mystery to success. It begins with thought, focused, repeated, disciplined thought. People who succeed think differently. They think about where they're going, not where they've been. They think about possibilities, not limitations. They fill their minds with goals, not gossip, with solutions, not problems. They understand that whatever the mind can hold with faith and persistence, it can bring to life. Most people think carelessly. They allow every doubt, fear, and distraction to drift through their minds, never realizing those thoughts are building invisible walls around their potential. You cannot think failure all day and live successfully. You cannot think scarcity and attract abundance. You cannot think weakness and act with power. The outer life always matches the inner one. So start guarding your thoughts as you would guard your most valuable treasure. You would never let a thief enter your home, yet most people let fear, envy, and negativity enter their minds freely. Protect your thinking, feed it with knowledge, faith, gratitude, and goals. Every book you read, every conversation you entertain, every piece of information you absorb, all of it is planting seeds in your mind. Choose wisely, because your future grows from that soil. There will be days when it's hard, when the world tries to pull your attention toward doubt and disappointment. But those are the days when your control over thought matters most. Thoughts of strength in difficult times are the foundation of greatness. Every great achiever learned to think powerfully when it was hardest to do so. You do not have to change the world overnight. You only need to change what you think about in the next moment. That is where transformation begins. One thought at a time. The mind is like a compass. Point it toward purpose, and you'll move toward success. Point it toward fear, and you'll find failure waiting. The person who truly understands this truth becomes unstoppable, because once you master your thinking, nothing outside you can control you. The opinions of author R.S. lose their power. Circumstances become opportunities. Failure turns into feedback. You begin to see clearly that life responds not to luck or fate, but to the consistent direction of your thoughts. So decide today what you want your life to become, and then think as though it already is. See yourself living it, achieving it, embodying it. Hold that image so firmly in your mind that it becomes a part of you. Soon your actions will align with it, your habits will follow, and your results will appear as naturally as sunrise. This is not magic. It is the law of the mind. You cannot rise higher than your thinking allows. But when your thinking expands, your entire life expands with it. You become what you think about most. Think strength, and you will act strong. Think purpose, and you will live with direction. Think abundance, and your world will grow rich with opportunity. Every great life begins in thought, and yours is being built right now. So choose your thoughts carefully. Feed your mind with the vision of the person you want to become. Refuse to think small. Refuse to think weak. Refuse to think defeated. Because as surely as night follows day, you will become what you think about most. And when you choose thoughts of greatness, greatness becomes your destiny. Every struggle, every victory, every success or failure begins within you. The world you see outside is only a reflection of the world you have built inside. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your discipline form the blueprint of your reality. If your inner world is chaotic, filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, then no matter what opportunities come your way, they will collapse under that disorder. But when your mind is calm, focused, and disciplined, the world begins to align itself with your purpose. You cannot control the weather, the economy, or the behavior of others, but you can control your response to them. And that response is everything. It's the difference between being a victim of life and being a master of it. The person who controls his inner state cannot be broken by circumstances, because he has learned the first law of power: control yourself, and the world will follow. Your inner world is your true kingdom. Every thought that enters your mind is like a messenger. Every emotion is a servant. If you let them run wild, they will destroy order. But if you command them with discipline, they will serve your highest goals. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change things outside: the job, the people, the conditions. But they never realize that nothing changes until they change themselves. The outer world is simply responding to the vibration of your inner one. Think of it like a mirror. You cannot frown at your reflection and expect it to smile back. The reflection only returns what it receives. Life is no different. Whatever energy you project, whether anger, joy, fear, or confidence, comes back multiplied. If your inner world, D, is filled with peace and purpose, the outer world begins to shape itself in harmony with that state. Control does not mean repression. It means awareness. It means being conscious of what you allow to live in your mind. It means refusing to let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. You can't stop the waves of thought and feeling from coming, but you can choose which ones to surf. When you wake up in the morning, your first thoughts set the tone for the day. If you allow fear or frustration to take hold, the day will unfold under that shadow. But if you start with gratitude, with purpose, with control, you create a vibration of power that no external event can easily disturb. You are the author of your internal weather. No storm outside can shake the person who has built calm within. Most people live backward. They let the outer world control the inner. A bad comment ruins their mood. A failure destroys their confidence. A delay shatters their peace. They are like a ship, tossed by the sea, helpless to every wave. But the masters of life are the opposite. They are anchored from within. They decide how to think, how to feel, how to act, regardless of the chaos outside, because they understand that when the captain controls the ship, the waves cannot command its course. Every challenge you face is not there to defeat you, but to test your control. Life will always send resistance to see if you have built strength within. Anyone can be calm when things go right. True power is the ability to remain centered when everything goes wrong. The man who can hold peace under pressure will always rise above the one who collapses under emotion. Control your inner world, and opportunities will reveal themselves. People will respond differently to you. Circumstances will begin to shift in your favor. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because your perception changed, and with it, your actions and energy. When your mind is ruled by negativity, you attract chaos. When it's ruled by faith and focus, you attract progress. The same situation that crushes one person becomes a stepping stone for another. The difference lies within. The moment you stop blaming the world and start mastering your mind, you take back your power. Control begins with awareness. Watch your thoughts like a guard at a gate. Ask yourself, is this thought strengthening me or weakening me? If it's weakening you, reject it. Replace it immediately with one that aligns with your purpose. Discipline your emotions, not by ignoring them, but by directing them. Anger can destroy, or it can drive you to change. Fear can paralyze, or it can sharpen your focus. Control is not the absence of emotion, it is the intelligent use of it. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can always control what happens within you, and that control determines your destiny. The more mastery you have over your thoughts, the less control the world has over you. The person who rules his mind can walk through storms with calm and face adversity with courage. The world outside obeys the strength of the mind that refuses to break. When you radiate confidence, people feel it. When you live with conviction, doors open. When you are calm in chaos, solutions appear. The universe aligns with those who are aligned within themselves. Every time you choose focus over distraction, discipline over laziness, gratitude over complaint, and peace over panic, you strengthen your inner world. Brick by brick, you build a fortress inside yourself that no one can penetrate, and from that fortress you can create, lead, and conquer. So, Stop chasing control over the uncontrollable. The traffic, the politics, the opinions, they are all noise. Your true battlefield lies within. Master your thoughts, your reactions, your emotions, your focus, and watch the outer world rearrange itself in your favor. Control your inner world, and the outer world will obey. That is not a slogan. It is a law. The moment you understand it, your life will begin to shift. The storms will still come, but you will not be shaken. Because when your mind stands firm, no force on earth can move you from your path. And that is when you will truly see what power means. Not control over others, not dominance over the world, but absolute command over yourself. From that point onward, you don't chase peace or success. They come to you, drawn to the strength of a mind that has mastered its own kingdom.